Hello, Goddess. Welcome back. This is Andrea with You Are Mind, Body, Soul. And in this space, I guide goddesses to bridge the mind, body, and soul through psychosomatic education, consciousness reconditioning, as well as alchemy and energetics. Come on in. Hopefully, you have something nice to drink. I've got a nice large glass of water here. We have so much to talk about today. This is going to be a really great chat on how to become a ghost, level up your entire life through the use and the power of your feminine energy and activation. We're talking about transmutation, transformations, and truly using this winter season and this winter energy of life to be luscious, deep, divine, and devoted goddesses. Before I get too deep into this video, I want to remind you to please like the video so that the algorithm can do its magical, mysterious thing. Please remember to share this video so that other women looking to tap into their goddess frequency vibration can receive this information. And please remember, if it is your first time on my channel, welcome, by the way. Please remember to subscribe because we are a growing community and it just helps out so much when you are participating with these videos, and you are always welcome to comment. Okay, so leveling up your life in the next 6 months, as women, as activated women or women seeking activation, we are always looking to be expanding and leveling up. And not only are we expanding, but we are also looking to make the most out of our contractions. And in the Northern Hemisphere, we are in the winter season, although here where I am, it is such a sunny day. This is my second time going to film this video, and it was so bright and beautiful. Like the sun was just sunning today that there was this huge glare over the screen. You really couldn't see much. It was just like so much light on me. And then they started doing yard work outside. So I just had to relax for a little bit before I came on to record this video. But nevertheless, it is the winter season, and alchemically speaking, when we're talking about alchemy, we are wanting to use the power of the frost here, if you are in the Northern Hemisphere with me, to settle down and deepen into the cave, which is the womb of ourselves, so that we can find these gems that lie deep in those spaces where we get to go and to seek and to be devoted to ourselves to uncover those things. And I don't know about you, but I am always about leveling up, which is why I am a life coach. It's just so important to me to always be coming into new levels and new versions of myself. So I do have notes. I encourage you to have a journal for this video. We'll also be doing some meditations, and it's just going to be a beautiful day. It's a great day to just be grounded in your energy and to hydrate yourself and to really just allow yourself to be open and receptive about what you want for the next chapter of your life and who you want the next level version of yourself to be. So we're going to go through 4 steps in this video. To get us going, what I want you to do is start to tap into the feeling and the vibration of what your next level activated feminine self is. So feel that. Take a moment, take 3 deep breaths with me. You can put your feet on the ground or just sit your spine up nice and tall so that energy is moving freely through you. And take a few deep breaths. And just, even if you want, you can close your eyes and feel into what that next level activated feminine version of yourself, what does she feel like? And I'm going to do all this with you. What's coming up for you? And feel free to drop any of these in the comments below. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do is once you start to really tap into the feeling and the vibration of that, feel free to pause the video so that you can really absorb this medicine and this process that we're going to go through today. And then the next thing that I want you to do is pick 1 to 3 words or a phrase that would describe the next level version of you. So take a moment and journal that out. I have in mind what I have for myself. I'm actually going to write it down. Okay. And we're going to talk about identity briefly. So identity and self-concept are integral when it comes to stepping into new versions of your life and approaching advancements in lifestyles. Your identity is going to be shaped by your belief system, and your belief system is going to determine what your actions are, and your actions are going to determine your choices. And based on your choices in life, you're going to start to shape and magnetically attract frequencies of things that are in alignment with this belief system. Okay, so our belief systems are always either working for us or against us because they are the thread that begins to create our identity. Okay, and when we're talking about coming into the next level version of ourselves, because we're working through the feminine energy, it's important to realize that this work is done internally. So anytime you are looking to create powerful shifts in your life, especially as a woman and growing and leveling up in your feminine energy, check out my book, Exploring Your Divine Feminine Potential, which is doing really well in Europe and Canada and Australia. Interestingly enough, I did a little check-in on that today, and I was pleasantly surprised. So shout out to those of you that are watching from, Canada, Europe, as well as Australia. I think that's really dope. Hi. So your next level version of you comes with a new identity. And as you really begin to play, I love the word play when it comes to my approach to life, because we have been taught that everything about life is supposed to be challenging and it's supposed to be hard work. But there is just a freedom and a juiciness and a bubbliness that occurs when you realize that you are actually playing and you are actually dancing with life. There is a dance that is happening within you, and then there is a dance that, happens when you begin to attract these different things. So as you start to play in life and you start to tune into your desires, you're going to realize that you do start to feel more like you are playing and that you are dancing in life. And as you are advancing through different levels of your identity, there are certain skills, activations, and awarenesses that these future leveled up versions of yourself have that your current self needs to tap into to understand how to become who you are. So no one can quite teach you how to become the most authentic version of yourself, a version of yourself that speaks truly to your soul's essence, except for you. But what you can do is start to ask yourself, what is it that I need to learn to become the next level activated feminine version of myself? Who is it that I need to seek out that may be a subject matter expert about the thing it is that I want to embody? What skills do I need to embody? Okay. Because the next level version of yourself, she has so many more things in her toolbox. There is not only the tools within your toolbox that you are going to have after you are activated into the next level version of yourself, but there's also going to be certain wisdoms and um, elevated, evolved, instinctual responses that are really just going to support the lifestyle that it is you are leading. Okay, so there's going to be social skills that you want to develop. There are going to be relationship skills. If you want the relationship of your dreams and of your life, you're going to have to find the education on those. So get curious. Curiosity is a cousin of play. Ask questions. Have conversations with people that you wouldn't necessarily have conversations with. Go out and put yourself in instances and situations that will bring you across the path of these people that have that different and that new vibration. And also, you're probably going, if you're anything like me, an adventurer, you're going to need new adventure skills. So, one thing that 2023 taught me was how to become a better adventurer because I love to travel. So, I was able to start traveling more in the year 2023. And one of the adventure skills that I was able to acquire is how to use travel credit, and how to make that work for me, how to, create an itinerary when I go and travel. So I went to Puerto Rico. I had a photo shoot in Puerto Rico. I went to Mount Shasta. I went on an incredibly beautiful, meditative, life-altering hike in Mount Shasta. And so there's always going to be a skill and information that is going to come across your path, either by you seeking it out or by you attracting it, that is going to contribute to your activation. Okay. And the reason that, I am a big supporter of becoming a ghost, aside from the fact that I'm an introvert, y'all know that I'm an introvert. I'm a very popular loner. And I'm not ashamed to say that. But aside from the fact that, when you disappear, you're going to be leveling up, the reason that we are also disappearing, or at least creating, distance between the world, the outside world, and the noise, and who we are truly becoming, is because we really want to take time to cultivate and to focus, because these skills require our focus. Just because you're out of college or you're done getting degrees doesn't mean that there are not different initiations and life passages that are available for you. There is always a process. Because we are always becoming, there is always a thread that is attached to the core and the center of our being, energetically, intuitively, that is leading us into that next stage. Okay. So for me right now, I am disconnected from the matrix, and I would consider the matrix to be any aspect of life that is a distraction, an unnecessary distraction. So for me right now, it's Instagram for at least the first 3 months of the year, at least until the new year, the real new year. So we are at the start of the Gregorian calendar year, but Earth's new year, the divine feminine new year, is not until the spring. So this year, personally, I've chosen to be very selfish and self-centered with my energy. And I want to take my energy and I want to consolidate it so that it's channeled into something specific, namely YouTube, my courses, my business, and not just sending out these pieces of my energy when people are only receiving crumbs because they're in that quick dopamine hit, quick swipe frame of mind. Being here on YouTube and sharing this wisdom with you just is so much more satisfying for me. And so one of my new year, the ways that I'm starting new year, or it finishing the previous year, because we are still finishing a year here in the winter. I mean, things are frosty, right? is by really honoring that small part of myself that says, I need space. I need space to cultivate and I need space to grow. So, cultivation, focus, discipline, and devotion, I find those to be somewhat synonymous and interchangeable when I'm operating from my goddess divine energy. Okay. And so when you are disappearing and becoming a ghost, this is a time where you are developing those skills. If there's a business that you want to start, a plan, you have to develop that plan. And it takes time for you to separate from the influences if you really want to level up your life and you really want to move through the chapters and you want to jump timelines. You could finish an entire book on your life by closing out an identity that was constantly intertwined with toxic soul ties. Feminine Alchemy and Freedom Activator course. You can liberate yourself from that and you can close out that book of being that old girl, sad girl. I have a video called From Sad Girl to Bad Girl where I talk about where I had a ton of anxiety and depression. Okay. And then you can move into a completely different book and you can change that quickly just by cultivation, devotion, discipline, and focus. Okay. Exiting the matrix. Alrighty, so I want you to challenge yourself to be devoted to yourself, to get deeply into the studies of yourself. The more that you invest in yourself, the more that life is going to come around and invest in you. I am constantly reading new books, constantly listening to videos and podcasts, and constantly journaling and tapping into the wisdom of what God is trying to channel through me, because I want to always be a positive, high vibrational channel for what I do here and for how I show up for my community. So my community and my children in the form of my businesses, they need me to be at my best, most high vibrational self. And it's important for me to be able to prioritize that cultivation. Okay, because they deserve that. All righty. And in that process, I want you to ask yourself, what do I need? Ask yourself, what do I need? That's the next journal exercise. And when I was doing my journaling and I was doing my walking meditations and I'm sitting with myself doing my end of the year rituals, one thing that has consistently come up is to be divinely surrendered. Because this year, God has been nudging me in the form of some pretty obvious messages. Like people have been asking me the same question for like a year now. And I was just avoidant. I'm just was not ready to accept the fact that this is something, an identity. It's a brand new identity that I'm cultivating this year. And I resisted it all of 2023. And after the fifth, sixth time someone came to me asking me the very same question, I'm like, okay, 2024, I'm going to dedicate to start to find the skills, sharpen the skills, and to shift my identity so that I can become that once I release all of the blocks surrounding that. So the next thing that so divinely surrender was what came up for me when I asked myself, what do I need? I need to be divinely surrendered is what I came up with when I journaled this out. So the question is, what do you need to give yourself access to this next level identity once you feel into her? Okay. After you identify her energetically, or if you have identified her in the form of God just giving you some very clear messages, repetitive messages, like she did for me. Okay. All right. And then the next thing is that we're going to connect. Okay. So once you start to connect, you start to move from the infinite into the finite, the definite. So from the infinite of the feeling and the thinking to the definite. and shaping that creatively through your creative feminine energy in the form of dream boards, in the form of talking meditations, whatever creative, magical way you can come about to further solidify these identities or these aspects of your identity that you are developing. So I have some questions here for you to help you tap into the next level version of yourself. Okay. So the question that I love, one of my mentors taught me how to ask this to myself, and I ask this to myself frequently as I'm growing and as I'm evolving, is who do I get to be? So you can journal that out, take a moment. And pause the video at any point if you need to. The next one is, how do I get to live? So what does your lifestyle look like? Do you want to live in a different city? Do you want to have a different kind of schedule? Do you want access to a particular kind of people or thing? What kind of lifestyle do you get to live? What do I get to have? What do you get to have? So it could be tangible material things or non-tangible material things. And then what does my body get to be? How do I get to feel in my body? Do you want to wake up and have more energy? Do you want to be able to have more focus so that you can put energy into your creative projects? Do you want more motivation? Okay, write all of that out. Okay. And now what we're going to do is, if you're back, if you had to pause the video, that's wonderful. And now what we are going to do is take a moment to give gratitude for those things. So thank you, God, spirit, source, universe, as you breathe in the openness and the invitation of this new identity. Thank you, God, for helping me to shape this new identity that is divinely in alignment with my highest purpose and with my highest good. Thank you for opening up the space for me to receive these desires. I'm truly grateful. Thank you for aligning me with the lifestyle of my dreams and for moving anything, any energetic blocks out of the way that are blocking me from aligning with that beautiful lifestyle that I see for myself. Thank you for helping me to want the most, for wanting and desiring the best for myself. Thank you so much for this healed, healthy body, feminine body that I get to live in. Thank you for the juiciness of my reality. Thank you for the juiciness of my existence and the play. And thank you so much for allowing me to wake up and supporting me to wake up and dance a beautiful dance of life as I co-create my reality. And we take some deep breaths, allowing that beautiful, bright, high vibe frequency to fill us and settle into the cells and the pores of our body, as if we are breathing in the essence of our future selves, knowing that she is the present. And just exhale that out through the feet. And then if you'd like, you can go ahead and wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, come back to this space with me. How did that feel for you? Comment in the comments if you'd like to comment. That felt really good. I love being filled with divine light and inspiration. It's such a beautiful thing. So that is the connection. In order to find the connection, we need a plug. So when I say connection, you can think about a plug. We want to be plugged into divine source, divine inspiration, and we want to be plugged into exactly what that frequency of our future self looks like. And because we are plugged up, we are charged up, we are full, and we are inspired with the visions, with the energy, the vibration of what it is we are developing to, who we are developing into. Okay. And then we're going to do some clearing work. Okay. So we want to clear out any densities that we have in our bodies in the form of beliefs or habits. So this is a great season to be cleansing the body. I'm currently doing a cleanse off of sugar as well right now, as well as coffee. So cleansing yourself, because feminine energy is light. It is the infinite, it is the ideas, it is the creative process. Masculine energy is more dense. Fear energy is more dense. And when we are looking to go through the manifestation process, we want to be as light as a feather, as light as a feather, so that we can move through these vibrations and adapt and shift and transform. Transforming is something that happens in the vibrational world, in the thought, and in the feeling world. And it is only by the practice of the solidification of these skills. Surrendering is a practice, relaxing your body, your nervous system is a practice. Waking up, drinking 20 ounces of water is a practice. Listening to things that are going to elevate your vibration. Everything is a practice. And again, all of these practices are based on what we believe we are able to have. So we want to make sure that our beliefs are in alignment with those things that we desire. Because if you are, excuse me, if you're struggling with your beliefs, it's like trying to walk through life with sandbags on your feet. So you could be asking to have more money in life, or to be, at another level in your business or in your career or in your job. But deeply, there's a space where you do not believe that you can actually have that. Okay. And so you want to start to journal that out and do that work so that you can get through that density of blocking beliefs. And I have a video on beliefs, working with limiting beliefs, because they're not actually limiting beliefs. Beliefs are actually guideposts to take you to your next level. But what we do is we focus so much and we put so much energy on that thing that it becomes a crippling effect. Okay. So if you are having an emotion, having a fear, having a block, it's important to identify that block, let it move through you, actually acknowledge it, sit with it, so that then it can be dissolved. But if you ignore it, it's going to sit there and fester. And I have a lot of videos that I have written on that. I think there's a video called Call Your Power Back to You, where I talk about these things. And so you want to start doing your work around that, and doing that work regularly is a practice, because at every level of your life, you're going to have to level up your belief systems. We are flow. We are flow. We are feminine, which means we are like water. So again, it is a never-ending process of transformation and transmutation. Your best days now will then be recycled into some of the not so great days of tomorrow when you are leveling up. The greatest, most positive days that I have now, I know that they pale in comparison to the life that I am setting myself up to come into alignment with. Okay. So it's just this process of tending to your garden. Okay. They cut down some trees, which is why I had to film a little bit later today. They were actually pruning trees and cutting down these trees that had died at the neighbor's house. And so we always are pruning our consciousness. And in this winter season, it's just a great time, a beautiful time to do that consciousness reconditioning. And one aspect of consciousness reconditioning is to prune off outdated belief systems. It is a constant thing. I'll put it in my next book, probably. And also, of course, you can take the courses that I have that are related to this, of course. And courses are 50% off right now. I have been working so much to get this website developed that it is so close. And what I want to do, because my birthday is coming up in a few weeks, I'm so excited to be turning 36. While Pluto is going into Aquarius, it's going to be such a magical year. I am going to be giving off 50% off my courses, as well as 50% off of annual readings. So you can reach out to me for that. But the website, I'll put the website link when it is all the way ready. She's so close. She's almost there. Okay. So we don't want to have to be dealing with blocks while we're trying to level up our identity. You want to develop the skill, the never ending skill, and no matter what level you get to, you're always going to have the skill of cutting through limiting beliefs. Real Queen of Swords energy, okay? There's always going to be something when you reach the next level, okay? Let me look at my notes here. You're always going to want to be doing cleansing rituals, which is why I recommend doing that at least with every turn of the season. And I talk deeply about this type of alchemy within the 14-day Mind, Body, Soul Reset course, which is also on sale right now until February 2nd. Okay. And then the other thing that I have here is boundaries. So boundaries will never go away. Boundaries are always so important. We need to have boundaries with ourselves, and we need to have boundaries with others, which is why I'm taking a break from media, because it's like me pouring out of my cup, but it's not getting filled back, which ultimately results in, it's like I have a hole in my cup, in my chalice. So I put a boundary on that. Okay. And there are ways to have feminine boundaries. And there are ways to tap into masculine aspects of yourself to institute boundaries depending on the situation. Okay. And then as we move into this last chapter, after we've gone through the clearing of the blocks and the density, okay, and grounding into ourselves through our daily practices and rituals, the last thing is going to be to find that support, okay? So finding the support of your vibration. And what that's going to do is it's going to look like you adjusting the volumes of influence in your life, okay? So making sure that what you're nourishing yourself through is influencing you in a positive way. Okay, so the things that we listen to and look at, especially making sure that they are contributing to the leveled up version of yourself. If you want a better body, are you listening to things that are educating you? Are you surrounding yourself with a support system of people that respect your goals and your dreams? So your friendships are going to have a big influence on who you are becoming. Sometimes you're going to have to prune off old friendships when you're looking for better support, or you may just have to set better, healthier boundaries with people, with friends, okay? Because when your vibration is high as a woman, it makes you super attractive. Again, super magnetic, super shiny, and people are going to want to be around you, and they're going to want to sip off of your energy because your cup is overflowing. So I want you to be very conscious about the support system of friends that you have. For me this year, I'm going to be making one of the New Year things that I'm doing is making a specific list of friends, of women that I want to be surrounded by. I'm so excited about this because, I just feel inspired. Like I want, this sisterhood, and I have a specific list of women that I want to be surrounded by. I want to be surrounded by more women that have their own businesses, more women that are independent minded, more women that travel, more women that have like physical athletic skills like fighters. I want a friend that's a fighter. So yeah, this is just something that I want to put my intentions into, is really cultivating and creating the community that I want to be around. Pluto is going into Aquarius, which is a big community indicator. Aquarius is the humanitarian. Okay. So it is going to be a time of shifting the communities around us, creating more communities. All right. And so it's a great time to put intentions into that as well. So we want to be very specific and intentional about the things that we are exposing ourselves to, which is why when you go ghost, I remember there was a point in my life where I would be like, yo, where nobody's checking on me, like I disappear and like nobody's checking on me, right? That's also a great reason to disappear. It's like, who is actually on your side? Who's on your side of the ring? Like, who's pouring water in your mouth when you're taking a break? You know, who's patting you on the shoulder and telling you good job? These are the people that you want to keep in your life, those genuine connections, those genuine support systems. Okay. And you really want to be conscious of the quality, because we are influencing one another whether or not we realize it. Okay. Just by being in the energy field of someone and having a friendship, you're going to be influenced by that person, which is why it's important to also be careful who you are in relationships with, because you are going to be influenced by that person. It is not our responsibility as women to rescue men, we can inspire men, but it is not your job. It is your natural state of being that is an inspiration. It is not your job to teach a man how to be a man, or how to, take care of you or take care of themselves. That is not your job. It's your job to show up and to take care of yourself as best as you can, to live and align with your highest and your greatest frequency, and to let him be inspired by that and to let him fill you up. You are the receiver, and masculine energy is the filler. Okay, living in your feminine energy. So leveling up in 6 months to your next activated feminine energy is going to take a lot of pruning. It's going to take separation from the noise. Okay, so you can imagine it's like you have a bunch of knobs on a radio system, and you're adjusting the volume levels of what you want to be influenced by. Okay, especially if you plan on being a leader or an influencer, it's important to be very aware of what your authentic voice sounds like. And your authentic voice can come from here, and it can also come in the form of your expression and just your way of being. Your way of being and the way that you show up for life is always going to speak for you before you even open your mouth. A lot of people come to me and they say, you have really healthy boundaries, you really take care of yourself, but at the same time you're very approachable and you're very direct. I get that from my father. It's just because I've learned to become an energy snob, because I know that because I'm a popular loner, I get energized, by deep self-discovery and study and deep knowledge of self, knowledge of the universe kind of things. That takes me having to turn down the volume of the world significantly in order to get that type of nourishment. Okay. It's like eating a bunch of McDonald's, right? And then having a carrot, right? So now you have packed yourself down with all of this dense, heavy bread and cheese and burgers. And then you're like, oh, but I'm going to have a vegetable, and then expect that one carrot to nourish you, right? So we have to we have to adjust and moderate our energy outputs, and we have to adjust and moderate our energy inputs in order to create a big change. And the last thing that I want to say is, don't be afraid to disappear. Don't be afraid to disappear. Okay. every year of your life, every day of your life, you get to wake up and you get to choose who you want to be. No matter who it is you choose to be, the world is always going to have to adjust. God forbid you wake up and you're trying to live your life based on what other people think of you and trying to satisfy and to people please. If you do that for the rest of your life, you will find that at the end of your life, you will not have satisfied yourself. And that's the last thing that we want. So I want you to be courageous and unafraid to chisel out some time to devote to yourself and to level up your feminine energy and really get receptive about what your higher self needs and wants from you. Get divinely surrendered and start to cultivate those skills that are going to take you into the next level. So that's all I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. One love. Mwah.